Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Angela Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and it is my job here to bring to you all the best, most effective, most recent, fascinating brain body tools so you could learn how to use your brain better to make better decisions, to take better actions, and to feel, look, and do your absolute best, and ultimately to shape the life experience that you want, that you desire, that you see yourself living through. There are, as a society, as humanity, we accumulate a lot of tools, and that goes to thinking models, how you shape your mindset, how you operate your body, your lifestyle, your nutrition, your exercise program. We accumulate a lot of tools that work better for certain goals than other tools. And today I wanted to share with you a few mindset tools or strategies and supported by a few practices that I learned from other people. They are not natural to me at all, and I'm still working on them, and I can't say that I mastered them, but I can tell you that the more consistent I'm getting with using this, the better I get at reaching my goals and getting exactly where I want to be, and even better place. So this is the strategies I learned from different books about success and goal setting and mindset, and also from people like Rich Davini, former Navy SEAL commander that I interviewed, that had a huge impact on the way I think about things and approach to life and the way I shape my own personality. Work of neuroscientists, from Andrew Huberman to everyone he invited to his podcast, from great entrepreneurs like Tim Ferriss or Alex Hormozy or Russell Brunson, the ClickFunnels guy, not the Branson. Because a lot of, when I say Russell Brunson, a lot of people not in the world of ClickFunnels are like, it's this British guy. I'm like, no, it's not. But anyhow, for all of us, we have different idols, we have different role models that we follow, right? I personally relate to these folks much more and better, because also people like Gary Vee, people who don't follow them very closely believe that they're about like this, Gary Vee is about hustle, Alex Hormozy is all about, making money, and I don't know, Tim Ferriss is all about optimization of things. But when you actually follow them for a while, you'll understand that those people, those folks, they're so much more than one label, whatever label you assign to them. And you can learn from them so much more, so many more effective models about life, about managing themselves, about managing business, that if you apply them consistently, because they also learn them not just from their experience, but from a lot of teachers and leaders and business owners that they interacted with. And those are the people of, quite a high caliber that achieved a lot in life and just keep growing their success. So they're just more well-rounded people. And when you dig deeper into the work of anyone who achieved great results in life, you'll understand that they work on themselves 360. It's not just business or making money. It's not just working on your mindset. It's not just working on your body. It's not just working on your habits. It's kind of all of that. And that's the beauty of it. And that's why I love digging deeper into their practices and life and the way they think. And then what makes sense, I apply into my life. And then I'm registering the results that I get. And if it's working, I'm using it more. So these are the models, 3 models that I've got from this type of folks, and I want to share them with you, because if you apply them, I truly believe your life, your work, the results that you get going to be transformed. So now let's get to practice. Practice number 1. Today is Monday. And on Mondays, it's the beginning of the week. You have the whole week in front of you. If it's morning, if you're listening to this in the morning, you have the ability to shape your week in a profoundly different, in a profoundly more successful way. Get closer to where you want week after week after week, and then you won't be blown away what you can achieve in a month, in several months, in years, and a decade for sure, if you just keep consistently moving towards your goal. And speaking about consistently moving towards your goals, last week I did this mountain walk with a lot of entrepreneurs. There were a few entrepreneurs who were younger than me, like 10 years younger. And they asked me, one question is very consistent among very young entrepreneurs. And it's normal because when you're young, you want to try a lot of things. You want to experiment. You want to explore. And that's actually what you should do if you want to figure out what you want to do with your life. But what they struggle with is long-term focus. And now they figured out what they want to do, but they also seem to want to do all of these other things. But please do think about whether you want to genuinely try different things and pivot, or you want to change things up because things got hard, or they got boring, or they're not as fun as you thought about them. Work is not all that fun. When you want to build something, there's the fun part. There are the results and things that you create. They're fun. But there is also a lot of hard and boring work that you will not like. And there are going to be other shinier things that are going to distract you from your journey. So how do you keep yourself focused on that? And many people, and myself including, I haven't learned this lesson for quite a while, that you need to have a tool to keep your long-term focus going for the same thing, to keep putting in the work day after day after day, whether that's health and fitness goals, whether the business goals. For a lot of those goals, it's going to take several months. It might take several years. So how do you keep your focus on that? If you know you want to do it, but you experiencing hardships and boredom and a lot of other things, stress and pressure and all of this, gamut of not so positive emotions, how do you keep yourself focused on the main thing and on those objectives that are going to change your life if you just keep yourself focused working on them? So there is a very simple tool that in one shape or the other, a lot of those successful people and entrepreneurs in almost any endeavor use to keep themselves on track. So what I do is every single day, I look at my goals. I either read them at least once a week. I rewrite those goals. And those are long-term goals. What do I want to do in the next few months? And then I reflect back on those goals. What are my long-term objectives, like several years down the road, a decade down the road? Are they aligned? But first and foremost, for the next 6 months, I have goals and I write them down and I read them every single morning. And then often twice a day. And then what I do with that? Well, I write them down and I look at my week, like today's Monday, I look at my week, and I usually actually do it on Sunday evening. And I schedule things according to those goals. Okay, I'm really committed to moving this goal. Like, for example, increasing my sales this week and signing up more people. And I did a lot of preparation work over the course of past few weeks. But this week is really like, I want to sign up this amount of people for my new offer. And so this is the goal. And I look at my schedule and then, okay, in order to do that, I need to do cold outreach and I'm following Alex Hormozi formula 100 a day. And I schedule those hours. And then other things like perhaps creating more content or doing more writing, they for me are not as important. And so for this week specifically, I allocate the majority of my time to cold outreach, to lead generation, and then to sales calls and related activities. I schedule things accordingly. And then when something comes up in my life, in my schedule, in my view, or somebody offers to do something, or somebody invites me for lunch, etc., I look at my priorities and I'm like, is this going to distract me? Is this going to allow me to do the work necessary to achieve my goals? And if not, let me see where I can schedule it a little bit later. And yes, sometimes or often you might miss out on things. And some people might think that you are boring or you're less busy or etc. But the right people will understand. And also the right people will have the opportunity to wait for you for a week or a couple of weeks, whatever it takes. So the practice it, look at your goals, write them down, be clear about your goals. The more clarity you have about your goals, about your objectives, the more precise your strategy is going to be, and the more chances you have to succeed at that. And to keep your focus there, to keep your mind focused on those long-term goals, you simply write them down, read them, you keep them on the top of your mind by reading them. And then scheduling part, it allows you to actually move forward towards those goals. You choose the strategies, you put things on schedule that you do, and then every day, at the end of the day, that's what I do. And then at the end of the week, you reflect on that and ask yourself, what can I do better? And let me move towards that. But the more you keep that practice every day, sometimes again, a couple of times per day, the more you do that, the more it's going to become impossible to not be focused on that. If you remind yourself of something every single day, how focused do you think are you going to be on that? The problem is most people who find focus on long-term goals hard is that they don't have these practices supporting their desire to be more focused long-term. If you don't have any practice, let's say, to build muscle, how focused do you think you're going to be on that? Or how focused you're going to be on transforming your whole health if there is nothing reminding you of that every single day? It's very simple. What is not as easy as putting that into practice? But once you see it's working, you'll understand that this is like magic. You can design and shape your life. Now, that being said, some things will take longer, sometimes will take less, some things will change. But if you keep this practice, eventually you get exactly where you set out to be. And this is practice number 1, to keep yourself focused on your long-term objectives and keep reaching them, keep going after them until you reach them. And then I like this framework, this question that I got from Alex Hormozi, to remind myself how possible a lot of the goals we want, no matter how impossible they seem to the rest of the world, how actually possible that is if you keep your focus there and you ask yourself this simple question. Is it unreasonable to believe that if I focus every day on my lead generation, on my cold outreach, on my sales calls, on all these different marketing strategies, is it unreasonable to believe that I'm going to reach my goal of becoming a millionaire? Is it unreasonable to think that I'm going to get much better at outreach, at lead generation, at sales, at creating offers if I spend time every day working on that? Is it unreasonable to believe that I'm going to improve a lot more than anyone else out there who doesn't have the same practice every single day? Is it unreasonable? No, it's not. That's the way how things are always done. You choose a skill, you choose a goal, you work on them, and if you are consistent, you improve. If you are consistent with tracking, with giving yourself feedback, improving, you will get there. There is no chance that you aren't going to get there. Just again, going to take time, going to take consistency, and you're going to get there. The second practice, this one I also got from Alex Hormozi. I love his podcast on his mindset, how he changed and transformed his own thinking models to get where he is today, from not having a lot, starting from scratch his business journey, and now being one of the top young business leaders out there who just keeps growing, documenting his journey. So this model from him, again, really loved it. And it's sort of also a question. Ask yourself, what's stopping me from growing or what's stopping me from progress on any goal you have, be that your health and fitness, or for me, I find this useful for my business. What's stopping you from getting to the next level? So this is the question. What's stopping you from getting to the next level? Let's give you 2 examples. One from fitness and health. What's stopping you from, let's say, getting to the ideal body fat percentage? If it's your food, then deal with that. If it's your fitness, then deal with that. So the purpose of the question is to identify the problem and stop fooling yourself about what isn't allowing you to reach that goal. And if that's problem with your nutrition, then work on it. And that's how you're going to get to the result, even though that might be the hardest thing. And that's why you're avoiding working on that, but instead maybe doing more running or other things. So what is the number one thing that is holding you back from the goal, from the progress? For me, it's called outreach, mastering this skill from getting a client from a stranger to a client. So that's the skill that I have to master if I want to move my business from where it is to where I want it to be. Once I master that, there's literally nothing impossible. From cold to client, that's what I'm mastering. And that's exactly what I'm working on. It's the hardest thing I have to do in my business. For me, it feels like the hardest thing. But after listening to Alex Hormozi, I understood, but that's exactly the thing I need to be working on. And I need to stop fooling myself and going for spending a lot more time on different partnerships and outreach, but instead master the skill from cold to client. And after that, there's nothing going to be impossible. And that skill, by the way, involves a lot of things. Learning how to communicate better, learning how to focus on the value that I provide to the other person, answering the question, what is it for me? It requires me to work on so many things. But that question, what is holding me back? What one thing is holding me back from moving forward and achieving the success, the goal that I have in mind? What is this one thing that if you were to improve that, everything else will improve right away? So that is the goal for me. This is the practice. And that's why I'm dedicating most of my hours to cold outreach, even though it doesn't feel good. And at the beginning, I felt really bad. Now I'm feeling slightly better. So it feels really not good. It feels really hard, and I'd rather be doing something else more enjoyable. But I know that this is exactly what I need to do to improve and to get better and to move all of my goals forward. So the same might be for you in your work, in your health, in your fitness. Ask yourself this question. What is one thing that is truly holding my progress back? And if I were to improve it, really work on it, everything else will just get better. You're your own gatekeeper, folks. You are your own gatekeeper. Please do realize that. And a lot of things that you want in life are on the other side of skill acquisition. And you got to improve certain things to get certain things. No way around that. If you were good enough to have your goals, you'd already have it. This is a sad, but also kind of inspiring reality. It's also all in your hands. If you already were as good as you want or think, you'd already have your dream. If you don't have it, you're just not as good as you think you are. But it's a way, you have a power to improve that. And so what is one thing that is holding you back? Schedule all of the things, prioritize everything around improving that thing. Even if it's just for 1 week, but see what happens if you prioritize working on that specific thing. So this is a thinking model supported by practice, asking myself this question and then scheduling things accordingly that I got from Alex Hormozi. And the next one I got from Brett Stulberg and his book that we actually talked about on this podcast. His book, Master of Change, How to Excel When Everything Around You is Changing, Including You. So Master of Change, Brett Stulberg, and he has a lot of great thinking models in the book that he accumulated doing high performance coaching and learning for so many different professionals and philosophers and books and experts and athletes in all corners of the world. So a lot of things he put together there into a great system or a great toolkit for thinking better. So what I learned from Brett is accepting the fact that things are going to be hard and you're not going to like them when you're working on them. Accepting the fact that things you want in life will require a lot of hard work. And when you're on a transformation journey, change will feel uncomfortable. Change is supposed to feel uncomfortable. If you if it was the same thing that you did every day, it would feel like normal. It would feel like what you do every day. That's what, when we do habitual things, they feel very comforting. And we need this comfort, we need this stability. But also realize when you want different things in life, in order to get to that place, you will have to go through change. And change, 100%, no exception, always feels uncomfortable. Whenever your brain senses things changing, senses things different, you get a jolt of anxiety, your amygdala gets all the attention, cortisol, adrenaline, to a small degree or a bigger degree, depending what kind of change you're attempting. Your brain gonna put you in this stress, anxiety, aggy state. Please expect this and realize that, I'm in the process of change. So this is the feeling, this is the sign that I'm going through change. So keep going. And also realize the harder the change, the higher the goal, the more things you want to improve, the faster you want to improve, the more this alarm, the louder this anxiety, fear, stress alarm will go up, although you'll learn how to manage it with different breathing techniques, etc. But still, it will go up and things will get hard. It's like, again, back to the gym. If you've never worked on your leg muscles with your squats and your deadlifts, and you start working on them, and you decided to go after heavier weights right away, guess what? It's gonna be extremely hard. It's gonna feel very uncomfortable. You're not gonna know the best techniques and a lot of things that are gonna feel uncomfortable, challenging, hard work. But that's exactly where you need to go if you wanna improve fast. I'm not suggesting to increase your weight fast. What I'm saying is, the bigger the change, the harder the result, the achievement, the harder it should feel. And that's exactly where you need to be. You gotta get used to the idea that things are gonna feel hard, uncomfortable, that you're gonna be feeling stress and pressure and anxiety. But breathe into that, lean into that, and that's the place where you're gonna improve and you're gonna grow. Growth does not happen comfortably. That's what I got from Brett Stulberg's book, but then also I heard Alex Hormozy and Russell Brunson and Tim Ferriss and a lot of other entrepreneurs talking about the same thing, that growth does not happen in comfort. It is uncomfortable. You feel like you're not good at it and you're not. It feels like you're not qualified and you're not yet. It feels like it's the wrong way. And that's exactly how it's supposed to feel, because the wrong way for your brain is something different from your habits. And so anything that is new feels wrong. It's like when I work with my clients and I ask them to introduce different habits into their morning, like changing up their breakfast or changing up their lunch or their adding after dinner walk, things like that. At first, they feel uncomfortable, awkward, and you feel this resistance, like, I used to do my things, it kind of, was okay, so why should I do all these new things? But the results that you're getting from the habitual things are not the ones that you want, and there is knowledge that there are better ways, then you have to change what you do, and change always feels uncomfortable. That's just how it is. So when you are in the process of change, when you set new goals and you put on your calendar new behaviors, when you actually get to the place of action and doing these new things, please realize, guys, it's supposed to feel uncomfortable. You're supposed to be not that good or just bad. And it's supposed to be hard and challenging. And you're supposed to feel not that confident, anxious, and a little bit edgy and stressed. Again, you can modulate that with all the tools that we learned on this podcast, like your breath work. That's where they really come in handy. But don't expect it to feel like drinking your cup of coffee. Please do not. No matter how well you work on your mindset, that's not what change is. Change is uncomfortable, messy, and hard. The harder the goal, the harder the chance. And when you feel stressed, pressured, tired, and again, uncomfortable, and having maybe that, anxiety more or less. Yes, that's how it's supposed to be. You're going through change. So find peace in that, lean into hard work. It's like, for me, again, this cold outreach, talking to a bunch of strangers. You think I was comfortable at first? No, I felt like a fraud or, I don't know, some weird person who reaches out to strangers. But if you think about that, business, it's all about dealing with strangers and turning strangers to your clients, to your almost friends and, family, people you serve. But yes, it's reaching out to strangers. And I had to get over this. And how did I get over it? Just practice, just kept going. And now I don't feel uncomfortable and I actually get pretty awesome conversations with people. So getting closer, getting there. But for me, I know that this skill of reaching out to strangers and turning them into amazing customers that I absolutely love with, that's what I need to master from cold to client. And for you, if that's your work, ask yourself, what's the hardest, what's stopping me? And then work on that and expect it to be uncomfortable, hard, and not be good at it. And you're going to feel like an imposter. You're going to feel silly, inadequate, all of that stuff, all the good mixture. You're going to feel all of that, but keep working and you get better and you get the results. And then it's time to move your goals further and keep going, keep growing. So growth pains, they are real, whether they are in the gym or in real life in sales and business building on your entrepreneurship journey. So these are the thinking models and supporting practices I wanted to share with you that truly are transforming my life. And again, it's not that easy. It's not the struggle is real, but they are giving me results that I know ultimately in the next few years, I'm gonna change my life trajectory. And then people would think it's a miracle, where I would know that it's nothing, but it's just a lot of daily practices stacked upon one another and done consistently day after day after day after day. So let's recap. Number one, how to keep your focus on your long-term goals. Keep them on the top of your mind. Write them down every single day and read them and schedule your things accordingly. Number two, ask yourself this question. What is one thing that is stopping me from getting progress, from improving all of the other things with the most important goals, whether that's your health and fitness, your business? What is one thing that is stopping my progress, that is holding back my progress? And then work on improving that instead of all the other small things that are around them, but don't really make such a big difference or no difference at all. My mistake, used to do that. And number three, don't avoid hardships. Don't avoid discomfort when you're on a journey of growth and change. That's how change is supposed to feel. Uncomfortable, hard, awkward, you're inadequate, you feel like an imposter, and you feel like you're doing everything wrong. That's exactly how the change is supposed to feel. So just track results, adjust your strategies, and keep going in that state. I know it's uncomfortable, but that's exactly where you need to be to produce change and to make this change last. I hope you found this useful, and I definitely founding all of these practices more and more useful the more I use them. Please let me know what you think, especially again, if we are friends in real life. Please let me know if you had some aha moment. Don't forget, folks, to share this podcast with at least one person. Let's make each other's lives better. Let's elevate each other. Let's raise each other bar. Let's help each other to reach our goals. So share this podcast with at least one person. And again, if you know me, please give me feedback of what you thought about today's podcast and how you're going to apply that in your life. And last but not least, we are launching our CEO Health Reset 360. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a business owner and want to dial in all aspects of your health, fitness, nutrition, sleep, stress management, so you feel, look, and reach your goals like unstoppable MF, not going to use more curse words, but it is available 12-week transformation that's going to last for your life. How to get into the best shape of your life, mentally, physically, till the rest of your life. Learning the cutting edge science of nutrition, of fitness, of sleep, of stress resilience, and what I'm going to do as a coach, helping you to put those into flexible practices, then you can carry through your life, becoming more and more unstoppable as you go. So check it out. The link is in the show notes. Share this podcast and have an awesome week ahead. Reach your goals, work on the important things, and I can't wait to see all of the successes that you reach.